Good. We're in East Village, aka downtown San Diego. Headed to the shop right now. I'm pretty stoked. I got a roast defect kit from Scott Rayo there. And if you don't know, Scott Rayo is a coffee consultant. He's a writer. He's done a lot of work to kind of lay a foundation for best practices when it comes to roasting and brewing. And he's been really influential in just my philosophies within roasting and coffee and whatnot. And he, I think, has part ownership in this company in New York called Regalia. And they're a roasting company and additionally a roasting co-op. But every now and then he helps facilitate this roast defect kit that they put out. And it's one coffee roasted 3 different ways: underdeveloped, developed, as in good, and then baked. So it's a really good tool to train your palate and just kind of educate yourself on the defects you can impart on the coffee as a roaster. And I think it's really important to stay in touch with those things. So we're gonna cup that today. I'm super stoked. See that roast defect kit by Scott Rayo. We got good, we got underdeveloped, and we got baked. They send you 100 grams of each one. It's all the same coffee. This is a Colombia from Wheela. It's a pink Bourbon. It's fully washed, and it's really cool. With each type of roast, or with each batch of roast, they send you the curve as well. So that's really kind of the tool we use to try and identify these defects. So for the good batch, you're gonna see a smooth, just slope down. And this smooth slope down just means that as your roast is going on, the rate at which the coffee is rising in temperature is steadily declining. So that curve should be smooth and steady, no abrupt changes in it, nothing drastic in it, just one nice steady decline. That is associated with juicier notes, longer lasting acidity as it cools, just better developed coffee. But that leads us to underdevelopment. Underdevelopment is an interesting one because you can't necessarily identify an underdeveloped roast simply by looking at the curve from said roast. Because underdevelopment comes from not hitting the bean with enough heat and penetrating all the way through to the core. The types of flavors this leaves you with are grassy, vegetal, astringent, as in it dries out the palate, and you can have a steadily declining ROR that looks great on the surface, but if you didn't hit it with enough heat, you didn't get to the center of the bean, and that's key to developing coffee properly. Now, one kind of slight indicator for underdeveloped coffee in regards to roast curves is a sagging roast curve. But again, that depends on a little bit on your probe, on your settings in Cropster. Sometimes that can be deceiving. But baked coffee, on the other hand, you can basically identify 100% without a doubt just by looking at a curve. The curve will plateau, it'll flatten out right around first crack, and then shortly after first crack, it plummets. It's a quick crash. So you're going into first crack, too much heat, and then maybe you make an adjustment too close to first crack, and then it crashes. And the effects this causes on the coffee in terms of flavor are straw-like. But I think the most important thing to note is it's hollow. It's like the juiciness and the acidity disappears as it cools. So although you may still find sweetness in it, as it cools, you're really gonna see the structure of the cup, or taste the structure of the cup kind of decompose, so to speak. I think this is a great tool to train yourself on said defects and really get a grasp on what defects you can impart as a roaster onto the coffee. But anyways, let's cup these things. So the reason we cup to evaluate coffees rather than brew the coffee in a more standard brew method, like say a pour over, is because it's simply put least likely that you're gonna fuck it up, because it's so simple. It's grounds, hot water on top, wait, break the crust. Not many variables. So it's just a method to try and eliminate as many variables as possible so you can get the most objective evaluation of the coffee without any other outside influences. I've labeled the bottom of each cup as well as the bag for each roast. So 1, 2, and 3, and then I moved them around until I forgot which was which. And so it's completely blind. I have truly no clue which one is which. So my first guess is this one over here on the far right is the most developed batch. So that's underdeveloped actually. God. I should have went with my first instinct. My first instinct was this was the developed one, this was the underdeveloped one. I was getting more astringency in this one. Each time I would slurp, my tongue would kind of dry out by the time it finished. On this one, that wouldn't happen. Between these two, I think this one is baked. Yeah, baked. This was the easiest to identify. As it cooled, it really just flattened out. At first, the first few passes through all of these, I thought, okay, all similar. But then as they cool down, you really start to get a feel for which flavors are speaking the most, are most prominent. And again, the baked one, the acidity and kind of the juiciness flattens out. It's almost just dull in a way. Underdeveloped, again, there's still sweetness there, but my tongue was kind of puckering. But then the developed one had that same sweetness, and the finish was longer, but I just psyched myself out and thought about it too hard. But anyways, I think it's a good practice tool. I want to keep doing this. I should just be cupping more in general, to be honest. But Scott, if you're watching this, I think it would be so cool if you released more of these more often, because it's such a fun tool, and a lot of us roasters who have to roast for a cafe and whatnot, I don't personally believe, I don't feel like I have the time to, or the budget to intentionally underdevelop a batch, intentionally make a batch, and then keep one good one. Look them up and get on board with the next roast defect kit, because it's such a powerful tool. I hope this was helpful. I hope it was just fun. I love doing it because it really challenges me. If you guys haven't already, please follow us on Instagram at Tired Ice Coffee. You can follow me personally, where I'm sharing a lot of behind the scenes at Coffee Under Pressure. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.